What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Ardhi Real Estate Podcast. I am your host, panel member. What am I? We talked about that. We're going to figure it out. But we have minus one person. We're missing Cassandra today. Shout out to her. We are going to be talking about the process of looking at homes. You guys don't need to be super into real estate. We're going to have fun here. So we're just going to talk about maybe what to look out for. We're going to talk about the role of the real estate agent, my experience, Danny's first experience, and we're going to have a good time. So buckle up and get ready for the ride.
Let's get this party.
Yes! Kevin's on the board, right on point. Danny, introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Danny, Instagram known as Danny Deals, realtor at Ardhi Real Estate, also a football coach, and 10 years sales experience, currently working in medical device.
There you go. I like that intro better. That's what I've been trying to get.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
I'm going to perfect it one of these days.
We're still working on this. I didn't give mine. See, like, what's up with consistency? I want to give a shout out to all of the home inspectors that ruin your deals, that scare the clients to death with their report and don't provide any context on the scale of the problem. Shout out to you guys.
Big facts.
You guys are the real MVPs.
Big facts.
Also, I have to talk about a big elephant in the room. You guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, which you guys should, I might follow you back if you don't have a weird Instagram page, by the way. You guys know I'm kind of messy. Kind of, I get into beefs. Not really, but sometimes, And I could be petty. My brother Kevin, who's on the board, says I'm more Drake than Drake. God. And for all the dogs, the bonus, very petty, very messy. I like it. That's why I liked it. You guys know there's a lot of stuff going on, but I had to talk about this, and it's pretty serious. Is the fact that I'm wearing a crew neck black T-shirt under my sweater. That is a fashion violation, and I'm aware of that. But if you guys didn't know,
this is a sickness.
It's a sickness, man. It's horrible. It is a violation against the fashion gods because you just can't do this. I need a turtleneck. I need something. But
How is it a violation?
The angles, like you see, like
Angles ain't angling.
It's a V-neck cut on the sweater, and then they got a straight across on the crew. It's just, you shouldn't do that. I don't know. But it was cold.
So do you need a V-neck? Or is it because it's black, or is it because of the neck?
I think you either have to wear a collared shirt with this underneath the sweater.
Okay.
Or
That's
nothing at all.
preppy.
You got to show them your collarbone. That's
okay. So you need a V-neck shirt.
They was in my DMs. They said, we want to see it apart the upper chest.
Whoa there.
But, I'm very conservative. Y'all can't be just seeing that, okay? But, I just want you guys to be aware that I know that this is a violation, but I did it anyway, okay? So I'm aware, so don't put it in the comments that I don't know how to dress, okay? Because I like this suit jacket, I like these pants, and I like the sweater.
Right.
But I realized how cold it was, so that's why I'm doing this, all right? Give me a pass. Because we in Jersey, it's 35 degrees outside. It's cold. Anyway, Danny, what was your experience that's been more recent of buying your first home? And do you have tips? How did you feel about your realtor? All that good stuff. What would you do differently?
Well,
when you were looking, though,
Yeah, for sure. So I started looking for my house last July, middle of last July. Started looking for the house. Wasn't really getting anything. Everything was flying off the market still at that time. So you were putting in, if you were putting in offers, if it wasn't the best offer, that house was gone within a couple of days.
Were you putting in offers without seeing the property?
No. So originally how we started was we went to an open house in Sicklerville. The showing agent or the person that was hosting the open house, he didn't do a good job. So we
I can't
walked
stand the
in.
open house people. I'll be dodging them. Like, don't talk to me.
We walked in. It was like he was all disheveled. I guess it was like the end of his open house. So it was just like whatever. So we caught him at the end. Walked in. He's like, "Oh, there's another house around the corner. If you guys want to see that one." So we're like, "All right, cool." Went around the corner.
He showed it to you?
No.
He fumbled. Guys, when agents do open houses, they're not doing that for the seller. They're doing it to find more buyers.
Mm-hmm.
So if a buyer walks in, he missed the opportunity. He could have been your agent.
Exactly. And it was me. It was me, my wife, her sister, her sister's husband, and I think that might have been it. But we both were looking to buy houses at the same time.
Oh, my God, the trifecta.
Right. So we
What
were
a
like,
fumble.
all
as
right,
an
cool.
agent.
We'll go to the other house because it was Berkshire and Hathaway that was hosting the open house. So she was like, another person from Berkshire is going to be at this other open house. Go down there and check it out. So all right, cool. So we went down there, walked in. Young lady greeted us. Her name's Taryn. She was awesome. Very personable. Showed us the house. Answered all of our questions. Everything that he didn't do, she did. And we're like, hold on. Okay. Well, we're looking for a house. Well, all right, cool. Let's rock out. Let's see what's going on. So we got her card. We called her maybe the next day or so. And she showed us a few different houses without like signing on with her or anything like that. So that was cool. Then it kind of got down to the nitty gritty. As all real estate agents are aware, you want to get that pre-approval out the way if you can. And you know, some people use your agent agreement. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, buyer agency.
Yeah, buyer
agreement.
agency agreement. You want to try to get that done up front if you use it. And she did use one. So after she showed us the first two houses that we were looking at, she's like, "Hey, would you mind signing this and third?" I was like, "All right, well, you're kind of cool. Let's rock out with you. Let's do it." So originally we were looking at houses that we couldn't afford because we didn't know what we could get because we didn't have pre-approval. So we're walking around with all these ideas, emotions, thoughts, and of what we wanted to buy. Originally, we weren't in the same mindset buying a house, me and my wife. I originally wanted a multifamily. My wife didn't want a multifamily. She didn't want to be a landlord. And I'm just like, listen, we don't have to be a landlord. We can get a property management company to do that. We just live there. Nobody even know what's going on. Whole 9 yards, save some money. She wasn't with it.
Danny Deals, you couldn't convince her, huh?
Nah, that was no convincing.
She's the attorney, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
She trumped you.
I stated my case and that it didn't go over well. So, so she was like, okay, well, let's see if we can find a single family. Cool. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Everything we were looking at was nice, but once we found out all of that was out of our price range when we got the pre-approval, which
what price were you guys looking at, and then when did you get approval?
We were looking at $350.
Uh-huh.
We were looking at $350, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, she makes good money, I make good money. We should be able to go ahead and do something, but the DTI was
she had student loan debt, huh?
Exactly. Yep. So she actually didn't get approved. So she applied, didn't get approved for anything.
Isn't that crazy? An attorney, can't approve for $350
because of her student loans.
What does that tell you about housing today, guys? Yeah. So think about that.
So I was like, all right, let me shoot my shot. I didn't have as much student loans. I got paid a little bit more. So I was just like, all right, let me shoot my shot. Shot my shot, and it came back. I can get $225. They would have gave me a little bit more had I turned in my car and knocked it off. Yeah. If I sold my car back to the dealership, I'd be able to get a little bit more. And I was like, well, I'm only going to do that if we find the right house. Well, we found the right house.
Wow.
And I turned my car in. But anyway, before we even get into all of that, we got the pre-approval. Everything went through Burke. It was like I trusted my realtor, and she made her recommendations, and we went with the people that she told us to go with. Now, what I will say is, of the mortgage, the loan officer, and the inspector was great. Loan officer was not.
Was it the in-house person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The in-house mortgage people, they not on it a lot of times.
Like,
because
they're that's not even the...
Because they're getting fed everything. Mm-hmm. So for the consumers out there, meaning that they are like either in the office or they're part of an affiliate company. So Berkshire Hathaway, now it's called Prosperity, but it was called Trident before.
Yep.
The people that work in the offices are not hungry, and they're not really out there to, get people. So be wary of that. But I was going to say, this is going to sound like realtor stuff, trying to sell people stuff, but it's important. It's helpful if you work with the preferred professionals for agents because they have better lines of communication and they can get stuff done. If I'm dealing with some loan officer I never dealt with before, it's a little bit different. If we're working with some of our preferred lenders, if I'm like, hey, Drew, or hey, Dennis, or whoever, I could call them at 9 o'clock at night and be like, yo, we need this done tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. We can get it done. If it's Rocket Mortgage, they don't care. They're not answering and all that stuff. So I know, like, it's a little salesy, but sometimes you should work with the people, especially, like, title and all that stuff. Yeah. It helps, so.
Yeah, I mean, in anything you get, if you have a referral for an additional piece of the puzzle, it typically works a little bit better. And like you said, the lines of communication and things of that nature, where I thought it would be a lot better, it wasn't as strong as I hoped it would be. Like, my realtor can get in contact with the loan officer, but I couldn't. So it's just like, okay, now I'm just playing, ring around the rosy, trying to
that doesn't feel good, and I hate that. That happens.
I almost just was like, forget it, like, call it a day. But so we started looking at houses. The houses we were looking at, obviously, they were out of our range. So then my wife wanted to start looking at townhouses, thinking, okay, well, we can get a townhouse, live in it a few years, then rent that out and buy a house that we want. It's like, I hear you, but I don't really want a townhome to start with the 225. I'm spending the whole 225 to get something that we actually like. I might as well still try to look for, a single family detached. So, long story short, we go, we look. And I'm like, I know I don't want a townhouse. Why am I keep looking? Like, we looked at like 8 properties in one day. Like 8 in one day. And that's we'll get to it later, but setting up your day with the properties that you want to see and making sure that they're all in a specific area and that you can hit them boom, 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 so you can be as quickly as possible when you're going through the properties that you want to see. That was the way we were able to see more properties in one day. Rather than originally it was like, oh, well, we like this house out in Williamstown and we like this house out in here.
Guys.
And it was just like, all right, we gotta
all right, look, here's a tip, guys. When you're looking for houses, let's like use logic, okay? So the agent should help you with this, but like you gotta help because they will be like, hey, let's look at this house in North Jersey and let's look at this house in South Jersey. I'm like, how is that gonna work? Because we're gonna drive like 2 hours. And so, like, you have to be practical and realistic. So, like, you should look at houses in clusters. And this is the problem. Your agent's not just going to say no. You know what I mean? They're going to want to accommodate you. But if you press the issue, they'll do it. But I try to be like, hey, let's look at all the inventory in this town and maybe the adjacent town. And then if we're going to look in a whole different area, let's look there. The other benefit is you get a sense of the pricing and the type of properties that are available in that area because, certain areas have very similar neighborhoods and feels and pricing versus radically different areas. So also, why don't you know where you want to live?
Right. And that was
what's up with that?
That was a benefit of us because we knew, like, okay, we want to stay in the Gloucester Township area.
Okay.
Specifically on the better side of Gloucester Township. Mm-hmm. So everything that's on, I guess, what's that, the Black Horse Pike? We didn't want to go into like the Berlin and Sicklerville and Winslow communities. So we were like, okay, well, let's stay in like Blackwood, Washington Township, all the way out into Williamstown.
Because people trip me out. Like, if you have kids, you really should have an opinion about the school district.
That too.
Like, you should kind of pick your house on the school district, in my opinion. Unless you don't care. But I feel like most people care. But I don't know. I feel like that should be a big decision point. And I noticed that some people just haven't put that much thought into it. So I would recommend, even before you start looking for a house, you really should decide where you want to live. Because it's hard to figure out if you're looking for a needle in a haystack with all these different properties in all these different areas, it's really confusing. So if you're like, okay, I want to live in these 3 towns, you can narrow it down and make the best decision. When you don't know what you're looking for, you could easily be dissatisfied with your home purchase. So
For sure.
know what you want,
Know what you want, and
at least where.
Yeah, and what we did, and this is something I know we were going to talk about as well, is we did our drive arounds. Like, we went into the neighborhoods, we drove the neighborhoods, we went to go see, what was going on in the neighborhood, what type of car, even down to the type of cars that was in the neighborhood. Like, okay, is there any busted cars with,
Parked on the
with
grass.
right, with this, that, and the third, and it's like, you can't judge, obviously you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can kind of get a feel for the neighborhood if you go into the neighborhoods that you potentially want to live in, and just kind of take a look. If you got the, rundown houses, things not being taken care of, the lawns aren't cut, or, however that works.
Yeah, that's one of my things. First, you should drive the neighborhoods before you're even, like, you can engage an agent and you can ask people in your area or ask people what they think about certain towns, but everyone has a different perspective. If you're from certain areas, you have a different perspective or a bias about an area. Same thing with school districts. For some reason, I hear everyone complain about every single school district. Like, which one's good? I don't know, because I've heard complaints about all of them. I noticed that, like, reviews for schools are always negative, like, disproportionately, because the only people who leave reviews are the people who are upset their kids getting bullied and stuff like that. So take people's advice with a grain of salt. People who are from, like, a city area where maybe there's more crime and stuff like that, they're going to be more resilient or less concerned about certain things versus someone from the suburbs or places that are known for, like, never having anything happen in their town. So you'll ask, is it safe? I mean, it's very I don't know, the personal bias gets involved with that. Plus, agents can't really tell you about neighborhoods because there's all kinds of anti-discrimination, and no one really wants to even get close to doing that, so they're not going to do that stuff.
Agreed, 100%. Agreed, for sure. The one thing, though, about the school situation is you're starting to see more and more schools go under, like, the school choice. I don't know if it's a referendum or whatever they do, but just to kind of give you an example, like, I believe it's Timber Creek and Winslow, they're school choice, so you don't have to live in the actual neighborhood to go to the school. And there's a few more that's out there that's school choice. I think, like, Gateway is a school choice for, like, that Woodbury and Defford area.
That's an important thing because in the MLS and stuff like that, that could easily be missed. So you need an agent that knows what's going on with the schools and can tell you, oh, you have a choice, blah, blah, blah. Because when you look online, it might just say this school district. And you won't know that you can do multiple different schools, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Yep, and then you also have, obviously, like, your tech and trade schools,
right.
Your Penn Tech, Sicklerville, vocational, things like that. So there's options out there. So,
oh, and my main point about that was drive around.
Yeah.
Look at the neighborhood and get your own feel for it. Like, go to the local Wawa, go to the Walmart, because you know about them Walmarts. There be the good Walmart, and there be the...
That's the funniest thing in the world that you said about Walmart. Because we really judge Walmarts based on the areas, right? So, like, when you say, all right, what's the bad Walmart? People typically know what the bad Walmart is, depending on the area. Because when I moved to, I got an apartment out in Mount Laurel, and the one thing that we were very, like, cognizant of is the Walmart that's right there in Marlton. We're like, man, I'm good. That's our Walmart. Like, I'm gonna go to the Marlton one because the one in Mount Laurel, they closed early. So we were like, nah, we're going to the Marlton one. But then when we moved to our new place, we were so glad. I hate the Washington Township or Turnersville Walmart. Oh my God, I hate it. She used to like it, my wife. I hate it. Thank God our Walmart, our Williamstown Walmart, is right behind our house. Nice. So we come out of the driveway, we go to the light, pull around, and I'm at the Walmart. And at Walmart, you got people that can answer all your questions.
What?
You got people that know where stuff is at. It's like the Walmart is consistently clean. The produce section is consistently fresh. It's like,
see, I be going to the bad Walmart. Actually, I kind of stopped going to Walmart altogether, but The Walmart difference be real because I be going the bad one. So people answering your questions.
Bro, they got people at the registers.
Guys, all right. Every business, y'all need to hire some people because having no one at the register is pissing me off. Even Target.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with Target? Everything's self-check. Home Depot?
Bruh. Home Depot's decent only because they keep people like right in the front. So if you need help, they'll jump on and help you. But at least maybe that's my
I'm stealing.
I'm stealing.
Yo, if I have to get screws and stuff that don't have a skew, and I'm stealing. I'm sorry. I'm telling on myself. If it's like a quick run in, quick run out, I'm stealing. Yo, they don't want, bro. My time is worth money. I can't deal with this.
That's hilarious. But it all depends on where you are.
If I need a screw, like sometimes I just need a screw to do something.
Which Home Depot do you go to?
Well, I can't tell you now because they're gonna be looking for me.
Is that a good Home Depot?
I don't. Home Depot's cool. I don't know. It's all right.
Is it like a bad Walmart?
I feel like Home Depot got a terrible customer service. I'm sorry,
Really?
Home Depot. Sponsor
I think
us.
Lowe's has terrible customer service.
I think Lowe's is 1,000,000 times better.
Are
What's
you
going
serious?
on? Maybe it's a difference where you're at. I don't know.
Again, got to know your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because my Lowe's is full of, no discrimination, but old white ladies are right there. So they're all like 60 or 70 retirees.
They can't give you no advice.
And they all work there, and they take forever, and it's so slow. Now, they're sweet. They're sweet as pie. But if you want to get in and out of that store, you're not getting in and out of that store.
Yeah, everything's slow now. But guys, don't buy finished products at Home Depot, please. Like, don't vanities. You're gonna have the same stuff in your house as everybody else. That's horrible. Don't buy flooring. And the pricing's not better. I recommend Floor & Decor.
I heard Floor & Decor is really good if you want to do a renovation.
First of all, this is going to sound a little petty and small, but when you're looking at like designing your house, they have really big displays of all their stuff. At Home Depot, it's like this big. At Floor & Decor, they have giant pieces.
Right.
So you can really get a sense of what the floor actually looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like a little design thing. You put all your stuff up there and all that. I think it's a lot better.
So that kind
way bigger selection. Because you go to
Right.
Home Depot, your house is going to look like the basic Home Depot house.
So that leads
I
me
feel like
to,
I've seen this.
That leads me to this question for you, Ryan. For a first-time home buyer, what are some like key things that you think first-time home buyers should have in their first house?
That things that they should have in their house as far as what? Like
It could be
tools
layout,
and
it
stuff?
could be
in the structure of the house.
yeah,
or
structure of
something.
the house, like, what should they be looking for that first house to have?
This is another one of my pet peeves because, and this is kind of on our agenda, people are so romanticized about houses and they watch HGTV and Pinterest. They get blinded by the finishes. And that's important. Like, you're going to want to like the style of your house, but I promise you, eventually, like, even my house, I redid everything and everyone gives me a whole bunch of compliments, how everything looks nice. But after a while, you kind of don't care about what your kitchen cabinets and all the functionality of it is. You just put stuff in it and you open it. It's not that big a deal. So my big thing when you're buying a house, because it's so significant of a purchase, and it kills me because I make clients go to the basement, even if it's unfinished. They're like, ew, it's spider webs. I'm like, look, I'm going to show you the plumbing. I'm going to show you the electrical. I'm going to show you the electrical box, the water shut off. Like, oh, it's this type of plumbing. Oh, it looks about this old. Same thing with the windows, how old the windows are, the roof, all that kind of stuff, because you need to accurately price in the value of those things. And those things cost more than the cosmetics most of the time. So I think it's not like what a house should have as much as you need a realistic, non-romantic view of the property. And this is how flippers get people. And the flippers aren't trying to get you per se, but I mean, if you're just going to care that you have a nice new fridge and stuff like that in the property and they didn't redo the roof and the roof is 10, 15 years old, you're kind of just misvaluing the property. So that's my biggest thing is like and here's the thing at the same time, my caveat, just because there's deficiencies or things are old in the house doesn't mean it's not a good purchase. It's just that you have to put it in your value estimation of the property.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to answer my question, it kind of it's funny because with the house that I got, so I got a rancher, 3 bed, 1 bath, um, which is cool. Like it's nice, a lot of yard front and back, nice driveway, whole 9 yards. So a couple of things. So buying my first house, it made me think, okay, what do I want in my second house? Because there's certain things I need that I don't have, and it's a struggle not having them. So just to give you an example, having only 1 bathroom without like at least a 1.5.
Haram.
Ugh,
Oh God.
Jesus. It takes you out, especially if, say, for instance, someone's using the bathroom, you need to go to the bathroom, or someone's taking a shower, you need to go to someone else. Like, if there's an issue with the bathroom, you can't utilize that bathroom. It's always something like that.
So when you were looking at the house, you kind of didn't think about that stuff, right?
Well, I told myself already, we have an extra room, so they converted half the garage into another room. And our thought process was like, okay, within the next couple of years or so, maybe we convert that whole place, that whole room. Yeah, again.
This is another one of my things.
Right.
People, you guys be like, oh, we could do this and that. I like the creativity, and most people actually lack that, so that's good to have. But when y'all see the prices of doing this stuff, don't be thinking you just gonna be flip this house and all them shows. Like, it's gonna cost you a lot of money, and especially adding a bathroom makes sense. But people are like, oh, we can redo the kitchen. I'm like, there ain't nothing wrong with this kitchen, and you should wait till this kitchen is jacked up before you update it. You know what I mean? Because and this is, all right, the market's messed up now, but I would tell people, why don't you just sell this house and upgrade to the house that has this stuff later versus doing a renovation. Now you have to eat out or use the microwave while you're renovating the kitchen and all that kind of stuff. It kind of doesn't make sense to put the money in the house, just upgrade to the next house, use that money that you were going to use to upgrade the house to as the down payment. So that's kind of my perspective on that, because people be going wild. I be showing a house and they're like, oh, we could do this and we can put glass here. I'm like,
it sounds good in theory until you actually get the house, and then time is one thing, right? So like, if you don't have like that specific time frame, like, okay, as soon as I get in here, I'm doing X, Y, Z, it's probably not gonna happen when you thought it was.
Oh, and they think they're gonna save money doing it themselves. Good luck.
Right. Right, and then it's done wrong or whatever.
Or it
you don't
takes
get
forever.
the permits, or it's a bunch of different things that go into not really being able to get the creativity that you have.
I've seen people do their own floors, and I'm like, you guys save money, but it's going to cost you more money because this is not it.
I had to get it redone, whole 9 yards. Like for me, when we got the house, I knew I was good with like demoing and stuff like that. So we got the house. I had to rip the kitchen out because the kitchen was just gutted. It was just done. So I ripped all of that out. But then I had hired someone to actually come and
put it
the
in,
floor, put the kitchen in, whole 9 yards. Saved a bunch of money because I had the right resources to get it done. But at the same time, I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. You know what I mean? But it lacked us being able to get the bathroom redone. So we freshened it up as much as possible, but it's still not where we want it. You know what I mean? So a year in now, it's like, dang, all right, when are we going to get this bathroom done? Now there's more pressures on you from getting this house, and things that you thought you could get done because you bought a house that needed a little love and care.
Here's another thing that I just thought about when you're looking at a house is square footage. And people need to understand square footage because, like, realize the amount of overall space that you need in the property, because if the house is too small, there ain't nothing you can do. I mean, you could add additions and stuff like that, but come on now. Like, that's doing the most. Unless you love your school district and there's low inventory, you're probably better off just upgrading houses. So I'd go after square footage in most cases versus, like, it being updated.
Absolutely.
Because if you have an extra room or a lot more space, you can build in. That's where investing in the property makes more sense. If it's a 2-bedroom and you're spending all this money updating it, you get less bang for your buck.
Also, I was a big, I need a big yard guy, which I do. I love a big yard, no problem. I like a big backyard. I got a big front and backyard, and I got a lot of leaves.
It sucks, right?
Oh my gosh, it sucks. Cleaning up the leaves, mowing the lawn. Mind you, I don't have a riding mower, so I have a push mower for like a half an acre. So like I'm,
I always,
pushing it for 2
I
hours.
see you're very sales forward. I always like point these things out to clients. Like actually that, in my opinion, is my job, is to point out all the practical things that especially first time home buyers don't think about. I'm like, you see all these bushes, somebody gonna have to trim them. Have you ever been outside in the summertime trimming bushes? Do you
Hello.
want to do that after you worked so think about how much it's going to cost to hire somebody. I
Right.
got a guy if you need a guy, but like that kind of stuff. And again, like the roof and like it's not sexy, right? Like, hey, plumbing, oh, who cares? But that stuff matters to lifestyle. I always tell people about their commute. If you add 10 minutes
That
on your
too.
commute, that's 20 minutes back and forth, and then 5 days a week.
Bruh.
That's 2 hours or something extra out of your life. That's gone every week.
It's funny that you bring that up because before we moved, we lived in Blackwood, so we're right off the highway, right off of 42, very accessible, whatever the case may be. Even if we run into that 42 traffic, as soon as we get past 55, we right off the exit. Boom, I'm good to go. Now going into Williamstown, oh my gosh, when they trying to do that 295 ramp going towards Philly, that added an hour to my commute. I used to be able to get from my apartment to my job, or if I was like going to work in at Cooper Hospital, which is right downtown in Camden, it would only take me 15 minutes. I'm right on the highway, boom, I'm there. Coming from Williamstown with that traffic that's in the morning there,
That's
it's
a bummer.
An hour.
That'll make me want to sell.
Bruh. I had to get used to it. I had to be like, yo, I got to find out how to leave a little earlier. Like, what needs to happen for me to, because if it's no traffic, it's pretty cool. But if it is traffic, you go from 15 minutes added already because of where I live at compared to where I was, plus the traffic. So that's, 30 minutes plus another 15, 20 minutes is almost an hour.
Your home has such an impact on your life, and there's a lot of little details and things that, again, as a real estate agent, I feel like these are the things that I want to point out to you. Sometimes it hurts getting a sale because if they love the house, but say it's if it's makes your commute an hour, I mean,
Yeah.
are you going to really want to do that? And people fall in love. And I'm like, is this practical to your lifestyle? Because, I mean, you love the house, but do you love, like, it that much to spend an extra hour every day driving?
It's crazy.
That, guys, really think about these things when you're looking at buying a house. And if you have a certain agent that's just selling you a house, then they're going to tell you, you know what I mean? Like, so practicality, school district, commute, amenities nearby. Like, if you're off the highway here in Jersey and you don't have, like, you might only have Walmart and versus what are the local restaurants? Like, what's your lifestyle? What do you like to do? Where's a park?
That's huge because when we moved, it's like, all right, let's find a local pizza shop because I like pizza. I'm like, all right, let me find a local pizza shop that's not Domino's, obviously.
Right.
And let me find our Chinese store. My
Yeah.
wife likes Chinese. We can't find a good Chinese store to
Still.
find our lives. And we've been in there, for a year. And she's like, man, we're going to have to drive all the way back to Deptford, which was 10 minutes from our old apartment. Now we're driving 30 minutes to get her Chinese food. Like, oh, my God.
Yeah, and that is, like, if that's part of your lifestyle, you literally just don't get Chinese food anymore, which might be good for, health purposes. But these are things that people don't think about that they need to. Oh,
Now,
wow.
the one good thing was, okay, we knew we had Walmart. We knew Turnersville stuff was right there. So the Home Depot, the Edge Fitness, which is where I typically go to live.
Because my gym closed, and now my gym commute has increased.
Oh, Edge is closing?
No, I was going to Blink,
Oh, okay.
and now I go to Edge. Edge is 20 minutes, and Blink was 5 minutes. So it really hurts.
Yeah, it does.
I have to get up earlier, and I don't want to do that.
So yeah,
yeah.
that's
That's a big
I
one,
consider all of that.
So
Because
yeah.
we went for which it was kind of better for me, but I went from having to drive to Edge the other way, and it'd be about 15, 16 minutes from my house. So if I needed a 6 a.m. lift, I wouldn't do it. But now I'm 5 minutes from Edge, so it's like, all right, 6 a.m. cool. I'm gonna jump up and I'm gonna go. But you gotta consider all those factors. Another big factor is like we live on. I mean, I wouldn't call it a main street, but it's a main side street, and
Cars be going.
exactly cars back and forth, whatever. And then now I'm thinking like, man, I want to be in a development. I would much rather be in a development, really be on a non-busy street or somewhere that you see the same cars every day. When people are coming home and stuff like that.
And when you have kids, that becomes a bigger concern.
Yeah.
You want your kids to be able to be outside.
Because now we're thinking like, okay, if we have kids and they grow up in this house, we'll have to walk them across the street to the development where they want to go to their friend's house, whatever. Because we're not going to trust them going across this busy street when this car is flying 45, 50 miles an hour, right in front of us. So it's like all the small things that you really got to pay attention to when you're buying that first house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that was good tips for people.
Yeah, for sure.
It was cool. We gave tips through your home buying experience.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. If you got, I want to know, what you got, what your guys' first time home buying experience was. Oh, actually, okay, I got one more thing. So, what do you think your agent did good and bad, and what do you think like?
So my agent was really good with communicating. We talked almost every day. She was good on picking up like our cues on like whether we were motivated or whether like, we were kind of getting drained because like I said, it was one day we put in like 4 offers and they all was beat. So it was just like, oh man. So
did you take her advice on what to offer?
I did actually.
Oh, really? Good.
With some things, but then other stuff, I told her like, no, we need to go here because of X, Y, Z, and it worked out in our benefit as well.
Oh.
Because sometimes I feel like agents can get wrapped up in like what the entire environment is doing as far as like, the housing market and stuff like that, and not really being specific to the houses that you're trying to buy. Because, you got to really dial in like, okay, what's happening with this particular house? Because you might throw an offer that's way over where it needs to be, and the house next door sold for way less. And it's just like, come on, you got to be.
That is a great point because you can really fall into that because if you write 5, 6 offers and they all get declined, it gives you this thing where you want to keep pushing the offer higher and higher. But each property is a unique experience. You don't know what the price, so that is a really good tip. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Even though you have a real estate agent, you also want to do your due diligence as well and making sure that you know what you're putting out there on the table. Because at the end of the day, it's your money. You want to definitely take the advice.
As an agent, I hate that a little bit because I really hate when I feel like the client's negotiating against me when I'm just trying to tell them what I think is going to get the house sold. But at your point, sometimes you're the client's right, or they just don't want to offer that much. So I get both sides.
And I don't think you should I don't think it's more so about beating down, but kind of like working in tandem with your agent. If this is your lane, if this ain't your lane, don't do it.
Yeah,
just let the agent handle the business.
Well, it is Danny Deals, so if you don't know nothing, that's true. But sometimes they're like, well, can't I offer $5,000 less? I'm like, you can, but like you said, especially if they express that they really love the house and then now they want to get tight, I'm like, $5,000 ain't gonna make that much of a difference,
right?
In this, if
people don't
getting the right home, right? We went over all these small things that are really important, and if the house checks all those boxes, guys, don't play around with a couple dollars per month in the mortgage. And I get it. Where I'm not just trying to spend your money like I don't care, but if it's the right home, it's worth the difference a lot of times. So don't get crazy.
Another thing that my realtor did, I was really good. Like she was able to express to me and show me why particular offers that she was saying were like the most reasonable and most appealing offer based on our situation. Because some people don't understand, like you get approved for the FHA loan, but they got a bunch of cash offers. They're not looking at your FHA right now. They're looking at the cash. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, well, how do we make your FHA as appealing as possible and still be able to do what we need to do? Like that stuff, that's really important. And realtors, or should I say most realtors, should know how to, position your offer to be as favorable as possible within the market that you're in.
Number one skill for buyers agents since 2020 has been presenting offers and structuring them for sure. Like that's the biggest difference.
Yep.
So, but guys, let us know what you guys think. Ask your questions. Tell us your home buying experience and what you liked and didn't like, or things that you wish you had thought of during your home purchase, or things, for example, the half bathroom if you needed that. And, like the video, share, send to somebody. And we appreciate you guys. Ardhi Real Estate Podcast. See ya.